All right, come on in, take a load off your feet, learn about a couple of products here. So before we get started, I want to talk to you about a couple of things. First things first, not yet, Dario. Yeah, you can go ahead and take care of that. First things first is all the MAPEI products come in 4 languages: English, Spanish, French, Scott, if you would please, and man pictures, because men won't read the other 3 languages, even if they could. So follow the man pictures. You want to mix all products with the proper amount of water or the proper amount of time, because people that are really smart worked on this stuff and they've got it figured out that if you want max performance out of the product, you need to follow the instructions. After all, you're paying a premium price for these products. You want to make sure you get the best out of them, and you want to make sure that you don't void the warranty. So I know it's difficult for us, but follow the instructions. If you don't want a warranty, instructions, forget it then. Mix it any way you want, go do whatever you want to do. But don't call me when it fails. Another announcement I want to talk about is right here. MAPEI Aqua Defense. Here it is. Or here it was. This is the last version of MAPEI Aqua Defense. While we were all sitting at home contemplating on what was going to happen, we made a few decisions based on some comments from installers, because that's where we like to get our information from. We heard that installers don't like this dark green color in a dimly lit room when they use a dark blue chalk, or even worse, use a pencil for a line so they could start their tile. They can't see it. So what did we do? Something brilliant. We took some color out. We lightened the color up. That's the only thing that's changed. The product is still the same, it just has less pigment. It's a win-win. We put less pigment, you get a product now that when you draw on it with a pencil or you snap it with a line, chalk, blue, light blue, red, yellow, whatever, you can see it. So Aqua Defense, nothing has changed except there's less pigment in there. All performance values and everything else are still the same. Can be used as a waterproof membrane, a primary waterproof membrane. Can be used as a vapor barrier and a primary waterproof membrane in a steam shower. MAPEI Aqua Defense. Gentlemen, if you would please. So, because we don't like to do anything small, Caraflex Super. The Caraflex line was introduced for one reason. There's 4 versions of the Caraflex line. There's Caraflex Super, there's Caraflex SG, there's Caraflex Plus, and there's Caraflex RS. Of course, the RS is rapid. The Caraflex line is next generation. It has amazing wet out capabilities, especially for these large tiles. It wets across and spreads across almost by itself across the back of the tiles, ensuring that you support it completely. Because if I got whoopties on the floor, that's a technical term, if I've got whoopties and undulations on the floor, I'm just going to be touching the high spots. By using a product like this, it'll fill in the voids. It's a large and heavy tile mortar, so it's designed for a tile that has an edge 15 inches or greater. It'll fill in some of those voids and support it, yet it'll allow you to make adjustments. It's easy to spread. It wets out across the back. The other thing that we have, and that's what Scott is spreading right here, what Tony has is something really interesting. So, you look around the building, you see these large, thin tile panels that are out there. Well, as of right now, the standard for putting those on is to go ahead and use a 118.4, 118.15 mortar and spread it on the back of the tile and on the wall. Then I'm going to take that large, thin panel and put it up. I just hung 100 pounds of mortar on that wall without the weight of the panel. This is a ready-to-use thin panel adhesive. When I'm done with it, I close the lid. I don't mix anything up. I open it up and I go ahead and spread it. Then only put it on the back of the tile, dampen the wall, and I put it on there and it bonds to the wall, no slip. So think about it. I'm going into Mrs. Smith's house. I'm not mixing up mortar and then racing with the mortar and then carrying all that product and putting it up on the wall. I'm just opening the bucket, putting it up, Going on to the next tile. If and when I get some on the face of the tile, it's a modified silane product. So that means it'll just scrape right off. It won't stain, it won't etch, it won't bond. It'll just roll right off of there a day later. So it's easy to clean. What I don't use in the bucket, I don't need. I close the lid and take it to the next job. I mix nothing, so I waste nothing. So from an eco standpoint, I'm saving product, I'm not wasting any product, I'm not creating any dust, any silica dust in the air when I'm mixing it. I don't need to get the water from the customer. I don't need any of that. I just open up the lid, spread the back of the tile, and go from there. What Dario has just rolled on the wall, that is MAPEI Turbo. So this is a normal set product. This I'm going to go ahead and I can install on it in 12 hours. With this one right here, an hour and a half I'm installing on top of it. Now the one thing I disliked a lot was doing small bathrooms because it was really hard for me to make money in small bathrooms. They're tiny, one person at a time could fit in there. I couldn't get a crew of guys in there. You're working around each other, you're working with the electrician. I need to get in and get out if I'm gonna make money on this. This is where this comes in. If I'm pitching the drain, I could use a rapid setting product that we make, 330 fast or RS, and slope to drain, hour and a half, then I can waterproof on top of that. This takes an hour and a half to dry, so now we're 3 to 4 hours into the process. Now I can snap a line and set tile using a rapid setting mortar. If I've got time at the end of the day, I can grout. If you use all rapid setting products, no chance of any of those products contributing to efflorescence, zero. There's no free lime in any of those products. That's how efflorescence happens. Everybody knows what efflorescence is, this little white, creamy stuff. It looks like soap scum. You'll see it leaching out. Because you can get efflorescence in a shower, any place where there's water that can penetrate down or penetrate back out, you got a chance of getting efflorescence. With this, not gonna happen. So I have a rapid setting waterproof membrane. Scott, can you hold that, pick that up and show them? This is without beating or anything, and you can see how it's starting to wet itself out already. That's phenomenal coverage underneath the giant piece of tile right there. And that's what you want with these large pieces of tile. You want to go ahead and make sure that you have the solid coverage that you need. This is non-sag. So when Tony puts the GPT up, by the way, at Surfaces a couple of weeks ago, that won Innovative Product of the Year. Yay. It's about us as a company paying attention to what you guys as installers want to see. It's what you need to see. It's what you need. You tell us, we listen. It doesn't happen overnight because these products have to be developed, designed, and then researched to make sure they're going to work and perform that way. But once we've got all that down, we see a market for it. This is a solution. Instead of you putting 100 pounds of mortar on a wall, that doesn't make any sense to me. This is a solution right here. Now, it's not designed for exterior, and it's not designed for floors yet. We'll take it one thing at a time. Interior application for large, thin panels, right there. So I have, for the floors, I have Caraflex Super, just taken the market by storm. People love this product. Installers love this product because it's so smooth and creamy, easy to spread. And then MAPEI Turbo. I mix it up. I don't need to mix up the whole unit. There's a ratio. It's a 2-to-1 or a 1-to-1 ratio on there, and that's what I go ahead and do. I don't need to mix the whole thing up, and it comes in its own bucket. So if I got to do a touch-up or somebody just wants to put a niche in or something to that effect, I don't have to mix up the whole bucket. All of these things are because of what we heard. Now, are there any questions? Stunned you into silence. Wow. All right, listen up. If you're an installer, do good work. Put your name on your work. Sign that floor before you put that tile or that job in there. So when somebody goes to tear it out 15 or 20 years from now and they're struggling, wanting to know who in the heck put this down, they'll see your name underneath there. Be proud of the work you do. Make good money. Don't sell your product short. Remember, we're in the flooring business. No building gets a certificate of occupancy until we show up and put in the floor. I can have ugly, dull white walls in there. They can get a CO on that building. You can't get a CO on the building until we put in the floor. Do good work, be proud of what you do. If you're not using MAPEI product, you should give us a try. Don't think you'll be disappointed. If you are using MAPEI product, thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for attending. Everybody have a great year.